Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to On Loose Lines. I'm back for another week. I don't have him just yet. I've got that one. We don't have that one just yet. I've got to get him very, very shortly, and we will get him there. But it's a big show. Well, I don't know if it's a big show. It's another one of my shows. Unscripted, unedited, people know how to work it. Now, David Rafale said last week, he started something last week, so don't be scared to get involved and let me know where you are from an emoji. Dave was pretty cheeky. He started sending a few emojis. We had a bit of fun towards the end of it. I will get Rafa on at some stage when we can. We'll go from there. Just got told it was nice to have my BT50. We are live on Twitter. Again, people can get involved in Twitter and go from there if they want to. There's no hassles there. Just make sure we are live. I don't know if I can get the comments going or not in there, but yep, all the wording's up there so people know it's on anyway. We've got 5 live viewers on the Twitter feed. You know how it works with Facebook. Get involved via the comment section and we will continue to put those out there and have a little bit of fun. We do have a couple of things we want to get through. I always say thank you to all of my sponsors: Harassed Trotters, Aldebaran Park, Woodland Stud, Nutrien Equine, Barris Stock, NZB. Got to say a huge thank you to all of those guys, please, as well, because they always are so good to me. Help me put these shows on and do other things as well. So plenty happening in this world. We're going to have Darren Clayton on at the end of the show. We had Darren on all of the show last week, but we'll get him on towards the end of the show as well, because the Nutrien Race Series, unfortunately, last week got washed out, so there was no races, so they'll be rescheduled, and we'll catch up with Darren with those as we're going along. Liam Mason, Jay James, hello to you guys. Anyone else wants to get involved, please do. If you went to the Breeders' Crown, I went to the Breeders' Crown and I loved it. It was awesome. So I encourage people to give me your feedback. The vibe was good. I think I do think one thing. I reckon the 2-year-olds and 3-year-olds, I know the race series is probably going to struggle, but the 2-year-olds and 3-year-olds I think was awesome. And the one thing you've got to realise, it didn't cost the industry money. That was money that people had paid up for. So it was a self-sustained race series. So that part of it was absolutely awesome as well. So just interested in people's feedback, what they thought about it. So and going from there. So you can get involved with that. Mark Hughes said I've got to give Stewie Valentine. The great Stewie Valentine might be celebrating a major birthday. Might be 70, I believe, coming up very, very shortly. So, Stewie, if you are watching, happy birthday to you, my friend. And if it was a surprise that you're 70, I said a few people actually already know it. I've got mice going everywhere here as well. Rightio, so we've got that. Okay, so for the Bendigo Harness Racing Club, there it is there. They have the Lang Dynasty Night coming up, which is Wednesday week, so the November the 27th. This is for the 2-year-olds and for the 3-year-olds. Graham Lang trotting miles for the 2-year-olds. I've got the little thing here to read out. We're extremely excited to announce Wednesday the 27th of November, the Bendigo Harness Racing Club will be hosting a full night of trotting to both remember and celebrate Gavin and Graham Lang, along with their family, the impact both Graham and Gavin had on the industry. We'll just put that one back up again. People don't need to see me too many times. This is a night not to be missed, with $20,000 total stake money listed for both the Gavin Lang Aldebaran Park 2-year-old Colts and Geldings trotting mile and the Graham Lang Aldebaran Park 2-year-old trotting fillies over the miles. Both races are over the mile. See if we can set a fast time and get some good times going in there. I had to have the right hat on going there. The Bendigo Harness Racing Club would like to thank Duncan McPherson, Aldebaran Park team, as well as Harness Racing Victoria for making this possible. So well done to those guys there for getting that message out there. And it is going to be a very, very special night, and pretty cool banner actually. Well done to whoever came up with that one. It does get a bit blurry from time to time, but well done. Elmore Harness Racing Club on the 18th of December. We've got to get Elmore what do you call those things? Logo, but we'll get to that one day. It is with pride that in 2024 the Elmore Harness Racing Club can host the inaugural Graham Johansson Memorial 2-year-old maiden trot. For those with a baby trotter, this is a race you should have on your agenda. $6,000, 2-year-old maiden over 1650, preferential draw on sex, restricted to horses that have not won a race. Graham was a master of his trade and success with a number of horses, none better than champion trotter True Roman. a winner of 75 races, including the 1988 Melbourne Inter-Dominion and Australasian Trotting Championship, and he's also I had a lot to do with, and also Graham Johansson, I had a lot to do with him as well. So please get behind both those races. Make sure you're aware that they are there as well. Sean McNulty, Chris Taylor is watching there as well. So Sean's got a baby trotter stepping out at Bendigo on Wednesday night, so he might have both those races in mind. Actually, he'll have the following week at Bendigo, and then just don't forget the 18th. And it's a pretty important one because a lot of people put their horses out for a spell, but if you've got a 2-year-old maiden, you want to get your bonus, could be one of the last chances to get your Vicbred bonus. Make sure you get involved with that, and be aware that it is there. Of course, also Brian Kesey passed away today too, so condolences to the Kesey family. I did notice that on social media. A couple other things on social media. I see we got the response from the government that's confirmed what a lot of people have been trying to say, but some people have said differently about the land. So go on to, I think there's a few websites that have got that one going out there, and then also got Greg Sugars on tonight just for a chat, but end up going to be talking about Just Believe, because of that announcement's happened as well. So we'll get to that one as well. Wayne Potter, hello to you. Trevor Bryce, hello to you as well. But going from there, hang around too for Brett Hogan. Pretty cool little thing what the Wagga or Riverina Paceway have got done and dusted. I think it's really, really cool. So please, if you want to get involved, get involved. Right, let's see if Mr. Sugars will answer his phone. It's always one of those interesting little things. I better plug the right cord in first. Hang on a sec, we'll get to that. So, yep. Anything else you want to do? Please let me know via an emoji. A little bit of fun last week with David Rafael. He got involved with some comments. So please, if you want to let me know what you're up to via an emoji, you can definitely do that. Hello to you, Jeffrey. Got an angry face from Jeffrey on one of his posts the other day. Not sure what that's about, but that's okay. May not have meant to push it. Never know.
Hello.
Hello, Greg.
How are you, Paul?
Very well, mate. How are you?
Not too bad.
That's good. You're walking outside or inside, one of the two. I'm not sure. You can.
Yeah, I'm actually going outside. I get better reception out here, so I want to make sure I can hear you properly.
Well, we'll not keep you long. We did do a show once upon a time, and we went for very long. I'm trying to make them shorter, but it gets hard sometimes because there's so many things to get over. But I just wanted to, one, get you on and congratulate you for the job you did do with Just Believe. Not only winning the Dominion, but also the way you guys go about promoting the industry and putting the industry where it should be, up on a pedestal. And I think it's outstanding what you guys do, mate. So firstly, from a harness person trying to promote the industry, I think well done and congratulations for the job. The whole Lara J Farms team have done promoting the industry in such a great way.
No, thank you very much, Paul. It's obviously it's not lost on us, like how lucky or privileged we've been over, particularly the last couple of years, to have a horse like Harry, for one, in our stable and to take us to the heights that we've reached. It's just that's basically why you're in the sport for. So, we're quite happy to promote that as a successful story, and hopefully people can share along in the ride and enjoy the ride along with us.
I think that's one thing you are doing. People are enjoying the ride. They're going along with it. So many people are talking about him in such a great light, and it's not. There's no betting involved, Greg, which is the one thing that I love, if that makes sense. People are wrapped. Brad Steele's on there watching. I'm just tipping the, I just lost his name. Peter Argus, who's terrific for me. He shares a lot of the stuff I do. These people are honestly rapt to see this horse there, to see him racing. No one worries that he's prohibitive odds and you can't bet against him. People are just rapt to see him there.
Yeah, that's right. No, it's something we're starting to get a little bit used to, but it's still a bit surreal in some moments when you go to a new environment, like we did last week at Christchurch, and basically 2 minutes goes by and there's someone new coming up and, can I see your horse and take a picture with him, and and all that's just quite amazing, that people are just that thrilled that he's there, and just to see him. And unfortunately for Harry, quite often the most common comment we get is, geez, he's not that flashy, is he? So Yeah, but that's him. That's our man. He's plain and simple, but he gets the job done more often than not when it counts, and it's great that he's got that support of so many people.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're right about him not being that flashy. I actually had the wrong thing. That's what I had to do. Now I've got it. I've got the race actually up. We've just missed the start, and we will talk through it as we go. But I've been fortunate enough to see him quite a few times, and he is not flashy. But the one thing he is, Greg, he's so consistent. He's what you see at the races at Christchurch, at Melton. If you took him to St Arnaud, he's always the same, isn't he? He's so even, such a nice horse. He's so consistent, I suppose.
Yeah, that's right. No, it obviously makes our job as trainers and drivers a lot easier when you basically know what you're going to get every time he steps out on the racetrack, and even off the racetrack, his demeanour is pretty consistent. How he is about the stables, and how he goes about his work at home. Like he's just one of those sort of horses that's just knows what to do, and like I said, he makes our life a lot easier just because of his demeanour.
History's not lost on you, Greg. The Dominion Handicap, or the Dominion, I keep calling it the Handicap, I get into trouble. Brad Steele is actually on there watching too. But the Dominion is a time-honoured race since it was a handicap race. Some of the best horses have won it. You spoke to me about it at Auckland. You said it was on your radar of a race that you wanted to win. Was it what you were expecting, or was it bigger?
I think it was probably bigger, to be honest. I'd been lucky enough to be at a couple of New Zealand Cups on the days themselves previously, but that was my first time competing on the day, and to take out a race, that you talk to a lot of the Kiwis, and just to win a race Cup week on either day is something that they hold very high, the locals. So to take out a feature race on the main day was quite amazing, and just the atmosphere that Addington provides on that day with so many people, and just the way it's done is it's pretty hard thing to top, really, and I probably haven't experienced that feeling too many times in my career before. So it was something that that I'll never forget, that's for sure. And just so proud of not only the horse, but everyone that's been part of the journey to get Harry to that position was just amazing. And it was really a special moment.
Kirsten Green's up outside you with Fiery Bandito. She actually posted a post when she qualified, or made the final ranking points, if you like, just to be in the race. I think she started like 100 to 1. She didn't care. It was just to be in it. That's the sort of race that it is, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And we had a bit of that feeling too with we had another runner in 1 overall.
Yep.
And Lex Williams, a long-time harness participant and breeder in New Zealand, and basically that's he flagged this race for that horse quite some time ago, basically nearly 12 months ago now. He sort of said that all going well, if the horse is fit and well and healthy and racing in good order, that he would love to be a part of it, just because of the prestige that's involved in being in that race. And so that was really cemented in our minds of how important this race is, in the New Zealand trotting industry. And he performed very well himself. Unfortunately, Gavin let himself down there and made the wrong decision in hindsight. It probably didn't look too bad at the time, so I can fully understand where he was coming from. But he's rattled home and ran a good fifth, but having not pulled the wrong rein, I think he may have ran into the placings. But so that was very special to take out that race, obviously with Harry, but to see the enjoyment that Lex and his crew got out of being involved and having a horse run well in it was it just made it even better.
Yeah, and I was lucky enough, I was over there when Muscle Mountain and Sunday Sun went head to head, and Sunday Sun just beat him. They just had the footage just then of Johnny Dunn leaning over and giving you a handshake. That was the first thing that happened with Ben and John. Like it's just one of those races, isn't it, that people, whoever wins it, doesn't matter, the beaten brigade are just happy for you.
Yeah, absolutely. It was just it was a wonderful atmosphere. It was a great race, and the who's who of the trotting industry have pretty much got their name on that honour roll over the years. So, I'm sure that won't change in years to come. Whoever wins that race in the future will be a deserving winner and a true champion of the sport.
Does Harry go back next year?
Hopefully, who knows? So, we sort of don't look too far ahead these days. I don't know if that's just our nature and just being a bit, I don't know, pessimistic, if that's the right word, or just being a bit cautious. But we've just been that lucky and so grateful that we've had Harry and and the ride he's taken us on in a relatively short period of time, basically only 2 years. That he's, and he's, ticked over the $2 million. And
no, he hasn't. No, that's a little anomaly, that.
Well, in New Zealand he has.
Yeah, in Australia he hasn't. It's
is that right?
It's one of those, the transfer of dollars. Apparently he's just short. Oh, he might have. No, hang on. I better be careful because he might have now. I was going to do that up, but I do know after the Dominion in Australia you're only at 1.8. So, what are those little ones? But anyway, when I see what's he won, he'll still be just short. Sorry, mate. So leave him in New Zealand, and he's a $2 million.
That's it. Yeah, we'll have to keep going a little bit longer then. But I know, like I say, he's we're just so grateful for what we've got, and we've sort of just got it in our minds that it's not going to last forever because nothing does. But so we're just trying to sort of take it one step at a time and just hopefully we can prolong this as long as possible because he's just such a special horse to us. And to think we'd ever have a horse come into our stable again that's going to be anywhere similar to what he is we're probably kidding ourselves. So we're just going to enjoy this for as long as we can.
Can I ask you, it's a hypothetical because it did get a stake increase, but the Dominion, as I said, in Auckland was on the radar and there was no stake increase announced. I don't think at that time when it happened. Was it a race that was on your radar all the time, Greg?
It kind of was. But basically, we'd always have liked to have gone there. And also, we've got a bit of a two-pronged attack, obviously, with Better Eclipse in the pacing ranks and, and working out what's best for him. And, these two, they travel so well together. So, when we're in Auckland and Better Eclipse performed so well up there that we sort of thought the New Zealand Cup could be on his radar then. And as of that, we're happy to take Harry along for the Dominion. So it was definitely, that was part of the thinking behind it. But certainly with the prize money increase that was announced shortly after that made it very, very attractive for us to go. Yeah,
I'm sure it did. I know Chris Finozio was going, and then the prize money went up, and he's like, that'll be right. It makes it a little bit harder, and his horse went terrific as well. So he finished. The depth of trotters is just phenomenal. One little barb, I will say, one cheeky one. Geez, the hat looked nice and shiny. That close up after the race, mate. That hat, and your glasses, it looked well prepared. Wouldn't be like someone forgot the helmet or something, would it?
No, not at all. How did you know that?
You have a lovely wife that gives me a lot of information that other people may not be aware of. But
it's just it's the way the world is these days, isn't it? You can't get away with anything. So. No, that was a bit of a stressful start to the race meeting when I'd realised that, I was obviously wearing the helmet and track work at home. I didn't take two helmets with me. And, thought about it, I reckon, 9 times during that afternoon that I've got to pack that, and somehow didn't until I got to the track and realised, yep, I'm missing a hat. So, luckily... Jeremy Markham, Red, as he's affectionately known around All Stars stables, straight in the car and brought it down to me and had it there in time. Yeah, and they're a great family, the Markhams, all of them. Both you and I do a lot with Stacey White, who is a Markham, and Maddie. They're a great family, and bailed you out, but quite funny to see that. I must say, it was because the footage. It's awesome footage just past the post when you're and you can see you're just savouring it and just enjoying every minute of it, mate. It would look pretty funny with a blue hat or a black hat or something else. Wouldn't have looked quite as good with your colours.
The rest of the team, you would have been wrapped with them. Better Eclipse was outstanding both days. He was probably better in the free-for-all, but he's still just been outstanding, and you drove him a little bit differently in the free-for-all.
Yeah, that's right. No, he's he's just been a wonderfully consistent horse for us as well over the last couple of seasons, and just the way the Cup on Tuesday unfolded for him. Yes, he had a good run in the 1-1 pretty much the whole way, but there's one of those races like the best three horses soon settled 1, 2, 3 the fence. So anyone sitting outside them, sitting off the fence, was going to be pretty hard over any distance, let alone the 2 mile. But he fought on quite well up the straight, I thought, to hold his ground well. So we were very proud of his effort there, and he come through it so well that we were happy to sort of obviously back him up on the Friday. And it was an interesting sort of. I was glad it worked out in the end, because it was one of those races that when I looked at it, when you drew the outside, the front, and I thought, gee, could be a bit of speed on here, and I think we're pretty much out of play. I'm going to have to drive pretty conservative and pretty negative at the start, and hope he can run on. And it's one of those things that as soon as the gate to arms folded back, I just went, nah, we're going forward here. So, made that split-second decision, and I'm pretty glad it worked out. Yeah, he got forward quite comfortably in the end, and obviously got cover on the right horse and finished off well. So, that was a complete change in plan, basically, as the race was started. So, yeah, he come through really well.
He was awesome too, though. I know you're on the back of Merlin, and no, you weren't on the back of Merlin, were you? Because Merlin ended up. Yes, you were. No, you were. But yeah, he was still outstanding, and he was savage in the line, and he probably had no right to get past Catch a Wave, because he'd had a pretty cruisy run in front, and you got him quite comfortably. So yeah, he was awesome, and then the other bloke whose name just left me, I should have had it up actually. It is this race right here. I should be able to get it.
He's from Heaven?
Yeah, that's him. I should have had it ready, shouldn't I? Me and me well organised stuff. What was your feelings on his run? Because it seemed a funny sort of a race, that one.
Yeah, no, we're happy enough with him. He's been a real work in progress since he joined our team at Lara J Farm earlier this year, and was quite a rogue, and his manners really weren't up to scratch, and everything he's done this campaign, and strung a heap. I think he strung 6 or 7 wins in a row, which was quite an achievement in itself. And he was probably nearing having enough before this trip came up. So to go over there and handle a trip away like he did, taking on the caliber of horses that he did, which we thought he was probably slightly out of his comfort zone. We were very, very proud of his run. He had a good trip sitting 3 the fence, and they ran home on very good sectionals, considering the times for the day weren't overly quick, and held his ground quite well. So very proud of what he was able to do, and hopefully this trip away will hold him in good stead now when he has a good break, and he comes back better as a 4-year-old.
Does he stay, Greg? We'll get on to the other boys in a sec. Is he staying there towards the end of the year as well?
At this stage, we're happy enough with his run that the New Zealand Derby is on in a bit under 3 weeks' time now, but 2 and a bit weeks. We'll send him round in that, and that'll do him. Then he'll come home for a break.
Okay, yep. And then the other. So then you've announced today that you're not going to the Inter-Dominion with Just Believe. So I presume that also means Better Eclipse.
Correct. Yeah. No, both of those boys will be withdrawn from Sydney's Inter-Dominion, and they'll stay in Christchurch for the next couple of weeks, and then they'll make their way up to Auckland. Up
to Sammy and Josh to look after. They like looking after those two.
That's it. They did such a good job last time around. They can see if they can do a better job this time.
And that's all got to do with the new scheduling, which has thrown some curveballs, I would imagine, for a few people. Like, obviously, the stake increase for the Dominion made it more attractive for you guys to go there. And then when you are there, the Inter-Dominion is back in Sydney. This is where these stake increases do have flow-on effects of other races. But then what they've also done in New Zealand is the Auckland Cup, I think it is, the race that Better Eclipse won last year. and the Road Cup are coming back towards the New Year's Eve time slot. If I'm correct in saying that.
It's not the road.
No.
The national trot.
National trot
has been moved. Yeah, so he won that earlier, and in the Auckland Cup for the paces on New Year's Eve. So you're 100% spot on there. So given that we're already in the country and we have to fly from Christchurch to Auckland on our way to get home, it sort of made perfect sense to stay there and race, especially given the fact that we've been there and done it before, and we know what to expect, and we know the horses will handle everything well. And when it comes down to a prize money situation, there's basically just as good of money on offer there by doing that with less racing than there is another AAA to Sydney, and obviously more races throughout the Inter-Dominion series. So from our point of view, it was the best decision for the horses.
And you've got a great group of friendship, I suppose. Nathan Purdon, it's his birthday today. I don't want to even guess how old Nathan is, but it is his birthday today. But they come across and stay with you, so you stay there, and then I presume that's where the horses are staying. But then also, like I said, Sammy and Josh on the North Island, and I don't know if you're staying at Stonewall or at his parents' place, but you know where everything is now, so it's a lot easier for you to be able to do, and that must make the job a lot easier.
Yeah, absolutely. We've been lucky enough, I've said, to do a few of these trips over the recent years, and even, travelling around Australia, interstate, everything is very daunting the first time you have to do these sorts of things because there's so many unknowns. But we're lucky now that we've got such a good sort of network of people basically right across Australia and now in both islands of New Zealand that it makes doing these things a lot easier, at least to get your mind around of what's going to happen and what's involved. So we've just got such a wonderful network of people that you just mentioned. Yeah. And quite a few of them there that we know we can call on in times of need, and we're here for them on the other end of the scale when they come over here. So that's the wonderful part about the harness racing community. Although we're obviously in close competition with each other on many occasions, but we all sort of rally and join together and make these sort of situations happen and flow quite effortlessly for everyone involved.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Will you be taking anyone to the Inter-Dominions?
No, we've got nothing this year. So it's a bit of a shame because it's always a race that's been it's very dear to my heart and something that I've always wanted to be a part of and be able to achieve. And thankfully I've had a bit of success in the trotting ranks over the last few years. But this year we're going to bypass it and. We'll regroup and hopefully we've got a team prepared for Queensland next year.
Did that sway you, the fact that you don't only have to wait 6 months for the next one? And hopefully Harry's still in one piece by then, and it's going to be the winter time, so a good time as we get older. Queensland's a lot nicer place for the joints when we get older. So did that sway you a little bit as well?
Very much so. Yeah, no, that was another great announcement, and we were very, very happy to hear that. We've had a bit of success in Queensland in recent years. So, getting up there and being a part of that Winter Carnival that's just continued to grow every year. That's certainly, and the timing will certainly work out really well for where we're at right now.
No, it sounds exciting, and hopefully the guys at the creek remember me and get me up there in wintertime. I'm happy to go up there in wintertime. It's summertime when it's not as much fun. Just a couple of comments. Jeff Dixon, Greg is surely the new Iceman, the way he drives, and obviously that's a comparison to either Tony Hurley or Gavin Lang, both of which were noted as that. Probably Tony Hurley was more known as the Iceman for a long time. It's got to be a nice compliment, Greg.
Oh, absolutely. No, just to be considered in any conversation with those likes of those guys you've just mentioned is, you'd be a fool to not be proud and be a bit humbled by those sort of comments. So, no, I really appreciate anyone that sort of can even consider me in anywhere near the same league as those guys.
You got actually one thing in common with Gavin too, just at the minute. Gav never won a pacing into Dominion. He won a couple of trotting once. One on True Roman. I think he won 4 actually, all told. Something about Mari. Anyway,
I think that must mean it's probably harder to do that. So
yeah, it must be.
Yeah, you got to be pretty special.
we will go with that. Nellie Melba said she wants a Harry. I think we all want a Harry. And Gail Crisp, who I met at Sonata last week. Well done, Greg and Jess. And there's so many other people I'm sure that want to say those kind words. I think that's the one thing you guys are doing. There's so many people just love this little horse, as I say, because you guys are giving people access to him by coming on tonight and all these things. I think that's the one thing yourself and Jess and the entire Lara J Farm team and everyone else, Greg, as well, not just the farms team, but families and the commitment you guys have got. And I know it plays on Jess a little bit. I know she loves what he's able to achieve, but it eats her up inside a bit too, waiting for it to happen. So, it's a huge commitment for you guys. But the way you handle yourself, I just think it's outstanding. And I think if the rest of our industry could embrace it, I think we'd have a really, really cool industry. And I'm not saying other people don't, but there are some other people that probably could learn a lot from it, I'd say. Yeah,
no, that's right, Paul. And don't worry, it's not only her that it eats up at times too. Like, I know some people think I might come across like I'm pretty calm in certain situations, but I have to say, like, it does get to me as well at times. And Jess was a nervous wreck being over here before the day of the Dominion, and there is a fair bit of pressure that goes along with it. So it's not all beer and Skittles for anyone else that obviously looks at it and thinks how rosy it is too. But that's not to obviously be negative or to I don't know, look for any sympathy in any way, shape or form. We're absolutely honoured and privileged to be in this position, but we do feel a bit of the weight of the situation from time to time. But I mean that's also parcel of why you're in this situation. It's to have those moments along the way and to be put in those situations, and it's just like I said earlier, it's just such a privilege to be a part of it. So just want to thank everyone that has been out there and been so supportive.
Jeff Dixon said a lot of the trotting trainers will be relieved that Just Believe isn't going to Sydney. He's probably right there too. There's probably a few saying, well, we'll go to Sydney, we might leave Queensland away. I saw, what's his name was on here before, Mufasa Metro went terrific the other night. Ran second last year, so he might be very, very happy. Mark Gurry, I was going to say his name escaped me. Brad Steele said there that wagering on the Dominion race was up 38%, and I'm sure a lot of that would go back to the rescheduling of the race as well, taking it from the Friday and putting it onto the Tuesday. So I think there was a lot of positives in that. Before I let you go, we were at the Breeders' Crown the other night, and I must say, when I heard about the stake cuts and that, I was like, oh well, it's a Breeders' Crown, and so be it. It's a time-honoured race. We've got to somehow work out how we can keep it, Greg, because it meant the world to you. You didn't get to drive on chauffeur. You got to stand in the stands, but I put a camera in front of you straight after. You were beaming. That we have to work out some way that we can keep this Breeders' Crown series going and being there for people, because it's such an important part of our racing calendar, isn't it?
Oh, too right. It sure is, and it's always been such a prestigious, race series to be a part of, and it's a shame it has lost a little bit of its luster in some aspects over recent years. But yeah, you're dead right. Just from a personal point of view, seeing that horse cross the line first and the way he did, even though I wasn't out there doing the driving, it meant so much to me. Obviously, working him here at the farm with Jess, and we basically knew pretty soon after he arrived at our stable that, geez, I think we've got another pretty smart one here. And he's such a character of a horse. He's a bit naughty. He's a bit of a naughty colt. He's got a real attitude about him. He's one of those horses I've really bonded with and love. And it's so good. In some ways, I was more excited after the race when he crossed the line than what I was with Harry winning the Dominion. It was a very different excitement feeling, if I can phrase it like that. Just wonderful. And I know Jimmy was was feeling a bit of pressure because he realised how much it meant to me before the race, and I think he was feeling a bit of pressure that he didn't get it wrong for me.
Yep, but the rest of the team, I know Craig's got a huge soft spot for him. Craig Demler, that is, he loves him, doesn't he? And look, don't go down to the stalls and expect to see a Harry. I can promise you that much. He's a massive, imposing horse. He is a colt, and he is a colt. There's no problems there, but he's such a beautiful horse. But he's growing up every start, Greg, and there is something about him, I must say. I know his stable name, he's got a lot to live up to. His stable name's the King, so he's got plenty to live up to. But he's a very unique horse, I think, that could capture people's imaginations for a few years to come.
Yeah, that's right. Like I said earlier, that I never thought kidding myself if we get another Harry along the way, but not putting too much pressure on this fella to think he's going to reach those heights. But he is an exciting juvenile, so you never know how far he'll go. But he's certainly, he's got the movie star looks. He's got a great attitude to racing. He's got a terrific gait, and the breeding is first class. So. Another one that we can thank Pat Driscoll and the team of Yabby Dam Farms for what they've been able to do, over the last, however long it's been, last decade, I suppose, to just change the landscape of the trotting world in this part of the world.
It's ridiculous. He bought Volstead out. People forget this. Volstead is winning races everywhere. Pat had the foresight to bring the horse out. And he helped people like the Lees. He suggested going to that stallion to help the mare's gait. It wasn't so much about, you should go to this horse or anyone like that. But he, the job that he is doing, Valtino, the first horse, was bred by Horastis Trotters Eva as well, a horse you had something to do with. It's just ridiculous, the depth. Him and Duncan will wear a couple of hats. What they're doing for the trotters, it's just first class, and it's really, really exciting. Mark Gurry and owners just believe is a once in a generation champion. So proud an Australian was able to take out the first Dominion in 41 years. So I think that's pretty well says what the Dominion means. No disrespect. This is from Ren Allen. I better be careful. He's picking on your driving. He's not really. He just said no disrespect to Greg, but you could put Pinocchio behind Harry, and he would still win races. The horse is a freak. Yes, you're right, probably in a way, Ren, and Greg probably won't argue with you. The flip side of it is there's more than just steering a horse around. It's the management and making sure they back up at the right time. So, I think you're a little bit better than Pinocchio, Greg. I was a bit scared when I saw Pinocchio in there. I was like, I better read this one before I read it out, just in case. But no, I think he's given the horses, and you do too, and everyone does. I think it's just the horse is what everyone's so happy about.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think I've been pretty open in so many aspects of the media to sort of suggest that we're the lucky ones to have him. He's not lucky to have us, and he drives the races for me as much as I do for him. He makes our life so much easier. So he's not too far off the money there.
Don't undersell yourselves, mate. Thank you for joining me. I'll call in again one day and annoy you. I like annoying you guys, but I really appreciate you guys always seem to give me the time. So thank you very much. Congratulations on what's been a fabulous couple of weeks. Hopefully it continues on in another couple of weeks and then flows on towards the end of Christmas. It's going to be very busy for you. You're going to be here, there and everywhere, and that puts pressure back on the team at Lara J Farms. But I think it's great. I will say one thing, Greg. The job you're doing it's Christopher, isn't it? The gentleman that works for you?
Christian.
Sorry. If people go to the races and see the young bloke strap, and he had no life in harness racing, if you like, 6 months ago? Bit more, maybe? A year? Oh, no, it's over a year. No, it's over a year.
Yeah, it's coming up a year,
yeah. He loves the sport now, and he just loves every part of it, doesn't he? He's so cool to go to the races and see someone so positive about the whole industry when he rocks up.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's just that's he's sort of captured. He had no idea what to expect when he first came here. He said knew we were a stable that worked with horses, but knew nothing about harness racing as such, and he's really embraced it and really loves it. So he's still learning a lot about the tactics of racing and all that side of things. But the amount of ground he's made up basically in a very short period of time to learn what goes on in a racing stables is quite amazing. So that's what we need. We need the next generation of people to come involved in the sport and be enthusiastic about it. And it's been a real pleasure for Jess and I just to see that to someone else that hasn't grown up in it, that can learn to love what we do.
He does, and he wants to learn. He's a sponge. I might have dropped Craig in it the other night. I asked him if Craig had told him about losing a rein in a race, and Craig hadn't. He didn't want to. He went a bit embarrassed, Craig did, but Christian, he got it out of him eventually anyway. So he just wants to learn everything, which is what we need in this industry. Greg, thank you to yourself and Jess. As I said, from Campbell's comments, thank you, because you guys are outstanding to me. I really do appreciate it. I think you're so great for the industry as well, mate. Monday night off, you probably thought you had the night off, sent your message, and you're only happy to pick up the phone. So I really appreciate it. Congratulations on all the success you're having. Well done with Harry, and may it long continue. I don't think anyone wants to see him stop racing, mate, so I think everyone's barracking for him.
No worries, mate. No, it's been a pleasure, and everything that I'm doing for the industry and Jess is doing for the industry, that you're doing it just as well. So we appreciate everything you're doing as well, mate, because that helps us all in the long run. So thank you.
We've got to work out what to do with this hat that Nick Hooper gave me too. I just realised it was one of those questions. We need to do a charity raffle or something like that, because this is signed by Stig, yourself, and I think the other person is Jess, who was a little bit embarrassed about it. But yeah, we need to do something like that. Could Kiang Zahara, here's a question for you, Nick. Greg. This is from Nick. Could Kiang Zahara have won the free-for-all on Friday also? She is a freak, isn't she?
Yeah, she absolutely is. And look, it wouldn't surprise me. Given Oscar's run, I have no doubt she probably could have done the same thing. I rate her extremely highly. Whether she could go to war with the older horses over the long trip right now, probably not. But, give her another 6 or 12 months. I'm sure she'll be able to step up to the mark. And, she's an exciting horse, and she is one that, fingers crossed for the Lee family, that she holds together for a few more years at least, because I think she will set the world on fire. And
for the industry. Right, we've just got to work out what to do with that hat. We'll work something out. Don't worry about that. Raise some money for a charity or something along those lines. Even if the charities are Paul Campbell and Greg Sugar's benevolent fund, who knows? We'll be fine with that, won't we?
No worries. Sounds good.
Mate. Thank you very much. Go back and enjoy your night off the races, and thank you for giving me some time, buddy.
Cheers, Paulie. See ya.
So Greg Sugars, who's always outstanding with his time, I do really appreciate it, and hopefully the industry does. I think they're both an amazing ambassador. Kiang Zahara is something special. I saw her win both the Oaks and then the Derby the week after in Sydney, and I was like, holy dolly. Tried telling a few of the Kiwis. They sat up and noticed this year there's no problems there at all. She is something special, that is for sure. Rightio, we're going to try to get... I got to send him a message first, so you're just going to have to bear with me. I get a little bit too many things going on. We just got to... because he's actually in a committee meeting, so I just need him to say yes, he's good to go. Brett Hogan, this is an amazing thing what they've been doing in the Riverina Paceway. Rightio, I'll just get him on the phone first, and he can tell the whole story, but what he's been able to achieve going forward is terrific. Greg? Hello.
Yep, I'm there, mate.
I'm here, and we are live, so yeah, just got to keep it G-rated for me. It'd be very, very nice. That'd be lovely.
You don't have to warn me.
Mate, firstly, thank you very much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. I'll fix your name up in 2 secs. At the minute, you're Greg Sugars, but you can handle that. That's not a hassle. Thank you for joining me, mate. With some really exciting news for the industry. I think this is a really good story that yourself and the Riverina Paceway have been able to achieve.
Yeah, mate, it's not just the Riverina Paceway, it's the whole Riverina.
Well, sorry, yeah.
In a whole, it's every club up here. We come up with an idea of trying to promote people back to the track, and not only... we probably set ourselves a bit more of a task than we thought when... in hindsight, but we try to promote new people back to the track, and fortunately, we've got there and we've achieved what we set out to achieve. So it's been very good.
If anyone hasn't seen it, there was two horses, both geldings, I think. Was one?
Yeah,
both geldings.
Yeah, 2 rising 2-year-old.
You'll say the 2 studs' names because I'll get one of them mixed up. I always get it wrong, but
Yep. Ben Stud in Illinois, Bernie and Diane Kelly.
Yep, they donated these 2 horses to you, and people had the opportunity of purchasing these horses as a lease. They'd pay training fees and they'll get money back. But at the end of the day, it's about getting new people to the game, because one of the clauses was Paul Campbell couldn't go and buy a share in the horse, because there was 2 things. You wanted people in that lower New South Wales area, then you also wanted new people to the game. That was the sort of the 2 sticking points.
We could have filled it up overnight if it was just general harness racing people. If them 2 horses were lucky enough to get off Illinois and Ben Stud. They were 2 nice bred geldings, and we could have filled, like I said, we could have filled it up overnight. But the last little bit's taken a bit of a push, but we have got there. So we've got 20 new owners in each horse. And behind them 20 owners in each horse is other people behind them. So it's more than just 40 new people to the sport, which is, we believe, is pretty unreal.
Yeah, so that's what I was about to say. So that's 40 new people. There's some of these are syndicates where people will be involved in the horses, and that's in itself is outstanding. Especially, I wear a Victorian hat, and things are not great down here in Victoria from time to, with money and that. Wasn't that long ago things weren't great, especially down the Riverina, Brett.
A lot of the blokes I grew up with and moved to Victoria, and they probably wish they moved back now. But I found that there's people in the micro shares that are willing to outlay a little bit and try to enjoy the fun.
And that's what it's about. And that's what it's not about more stake money, if you like, at Wagga or anything along those lines. That's not even being spoken about. It's actually trying to get people to the sport and enjoying the sport, and then maybe getting involved. Like Michael Gadsden's watching online. He's from Charlton, so a bit. But someone like a Michael Gadsden takes a horse to the races. These guys see it, say, I wouldn't mind getting involved in a horse with him. It's to try and get more people involved in our game and grow our game.
Yeah, that's what we set out to achieve, and like I said, it took off like wildfire, and then the last few have taken a bit to get over the line. But at the end of the day, they're all new people to the sport. So in the times we're living in, to find 40 new people, it's just unreal. Yeah,
I totally agree, mate. I think that part is outstanding. To be able to get those people there to the sport is exciting. You got a couple of things planned too, which is exciting. You got some hats. Hopefully, do I get a hat? You better order one extra.
You just blew me cover. They're not going to be ready in time. We will get there, but on the 29th of November, Friday week, we're going to have a Wagga Trot, so a come and sign up day, meet the trainers. Obviously, we couldn't do it without the trainers. We got the Joneses from Miranda and Bruce Harpley, so you got 2 well-credentialed camps to take these horses on. So hopefully, fingers crossed, come after Easter, that these owners are in the prize money
at the races, and they're there watching. You said about your 2 trainers, Alan and Blake, do an outstanding job. One with their horses, the way they train, but also the way they present them and send them out. What day did you say was to come and look at?
The come and sign up's the 29th of November. So that's
sorry, I was on the yep. No, you're right. I was on the wrong day. I was like, that don't make sense to me.
Friday night at Wagga, so Friday week.
Yep.
So they just try to get people back and try to get everyone in the syndicate to meet each other, I suppose, and get a communication point going.
And then get Bernie there as well. And he's a pretty shy reserve sort of a bloke, Bernie, so you won't get much out of him.
Bernie Kelly or Bruce Harpley?
Bruce Harpley, sorry, that was the one. Bernie Kelly might be. Yeah.
Bruce isn't that shy. Once you get him rolling, he'll keep talking.
No, I was being sarcastic. Mark Pitt's watching. Of course, Alan's brother-in-law. Did I get that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
he married into the camp.
Yeah, so smart move, that's for sure. So he's watching, mate. Well done. I think it is outstanding. The best part, actually, one thing we haven't spoken about, Brett. These 2 horses actually go very good.
Yeah. Well, I had them give them a preparation, and we took him into the Wagga track there. If people go back and have a look at the video, I said to Bruce, let's just get past the shadows and sneak up there and not go too quick. We got past the shadows and Bruce flicked his with a stick, and next thing you know, I was chasing. They both ran up pretty good. So, they are two horses which we think have a little bit of potential. So let's just hope they can keep going with what they've showed in this preparation and bring some excitement to these owners.
Yeah, no, well done, mate. Brilliant effort. Well done to the Riverina Paceway. Their hat is actually up there. I have got a Riverina Paceway hat. I just noticed I couldn't see it on my wall. I'm like, maybe I don't have it, but I actually do have it. That's it right there, way up the top. But it is there, but it's hidden by the On Loose Lines banner, of course. Yeah, mate, well done. Thank you for joining me. Congratulations to yourself and the club, thinking outside the square, doing some smart things. I think it's outstanding for this industry. We just had Greg Sugars on, at the top of the top. We can't rest on our laurels. This industry needs to keep growing, keep doing different. I challenge people all the time to do different or come up with a different idea and tell me about it. I think what you guys have been able to achieve here is outstanding. So I think well done, mate, and congratulations to yourself as being the spokesperson, but everyone else behind it. And it's not just the Riverina Paceway, as you said, it's the Riverina Harness Racing Tracks and the participants involved as well.
Yeah, mate, it's been a lot of people. It hasn't just been me. I've sort of been pushing the barrow, but just once again, thank yourself. Without Campbell's comments, this wouldn't have got the airtime and taken off as well as it did. So what you do for the sport is, mate, that was priceless for us up here.
I only just do some videos and put them up, mate. It's all good. You know that. I enjoy it, so it's all part of if I can do it. But I think the one reason I do it is because I love the sport. I just wish so many other people could see it in the way I do and love it as well, instead of some of the toxic dribble that you get to see put out from time to time. But we won't even go there, Hogs. We'll leave that one well alone and not even touch it. But mate, thank you. Well done to yourself, as I said, but well done to every other person behind the scenes. And I really look forward to seeing these horses at the races. I'm going to be coming there when they are. And it's going to be a lot of fun seeing them at the racetrack and seeing all these owners there, because that's the idea of it, is the people will come to Albury, they'll come to Leeton, they'll, wherever the horses are racing, that's where we want them there and racing. So, mate, well done and congratulations.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks, Brady.
Bye.
Brett Hogan there, and it's a really cool story, really do. I think it's an awesome story with the what they've been able to achieve with those two horses, and it's really cool. And maybe get some other clubs to sit up and have a look at it and see what they think of it. So don't forget we are on Twitter. If you're watching on Twitter, I reckon you could put a comment in there somewhere. We've got 150 people have been watching it at any one time, but you can put you can comment in there via the comment section if you want to, and I can see them from time to time. I do go across and look at it, and I also should be checking out my YouTube page. I've got computers sort of everywhere, so I apologise just then. I was looking no, that one don't work. Looking the wrong way, so not sure what's going on there. No, that's better. So if you are watching on the YouTube feed as well, I can see we don't have any comments. Don't get a lot of comments on there. Don't forget though, if you are, hit like, hit subscribe, and go from there. We've got 5 people watching it at any one time. I never worry about the numbers, but it's good to have people watching and acknowledging that people do. I enjoy it. I enjoy the fact that people like to listen to me. Rightio, we've got one more guest. He was on last week. Got to try and get him back here. Where is he? There he is there. Have to get his name and phone number and that up as well. So the name part takes the longest. He might not be. He might be still cooking. Who knows what he's doing? He said he was going to answer me. Oh, he is.
Good evening.
Back by popular demand. We haven't had Rafa on tonight too. I don't know where he's been. I've been waiting to see. So he hasn't come back on. But hello, mate. I'm trying to find your photo. I don't know where your name's gone to. Maybe I deleted you by mistake. I don't think so. But
you wouldn't be the first that's wanted to do that.
To delete you. There you are. I found you. What are we cooking tonight?
It'll be spaghetti, I think, tonight.
Oh, you haven't
got around. I haven't got around to it. No, I thought it was too noisy last week, so we'll leave that till after.
Oh, did you hear the noise? Did you? I didn't think you could hear it. I didn't worry, mate. I don't worry. The show's about having fun, and that's what we want to do. We got on last week to promote the Nutrien race series, mate, and unfortunately, was it just a massive downpour on the weekend, or was it the whole weekend?
Yeah, it's we've been having storms all week, so pretty much every night we're getting a fair bit of rain. It's just been really muggy and what have you, and then it turned into Saturday morning just a downpour. It looked like it was going to be a storm front, just moved through as they always have been all week, but this one ended up just being a rain cloud that just sat and didn't move, and we had about 100 mil from 9 o'clock till 3 o'clock on Saturday. So,
wow.
That said, the track was in perfect condition. We could have raced on the track. The concern was on the infield from about the 2100 metre start point down to the home bend, the water had come up and was at the peg line. So it was probably about, maybe a foot deep in parts to the inside of the peg line, not on the track. So just the safety concerns with that. You can't really be starting a meeting with that level of water so close to the inside of the track. So unfortunately, there was a chance that it could have subsided. You're playing a game of Russian roulette, really, whether you're tossing a coin, whether the water recedes or whether it doesn't. It was still there at 7:30 that night. So the right call was made. And it's just unfortunate. So as a result, 5 Nutrien Sunshine Stars races. It would have been the inaugural running, so they've been split for this week. Just the way the calendar sits, we couldn't get them all into Saturday night. So Saturday night this week we'll have the 3 pacing finals, and the 2 trotting finals will go to Friday night, which fields for those will for Friday night will come out tomorrow afternoon. But fields stay the same, barrier draws stay the same. It's just they've been moved to this week.
That's what I was gonna ask, but just looking at them then, I did remember a few of those runners, so they are there. So their races 9 and 10 and 7, 9 and 10. Those three races will be, and then your 2-year-old trots will be the following night. That's correct. The night before, Friday before.
The night previous, yeah. It's just the way the fields are drawn up. The Saturday comes out on the Monday. Friday fields come out Tuesday. So they're just a day around the other way up here. That's how we do it. The full night of racing will be released tomorrow. But those 2 trotting races will be on there. The Colts and Geldings, which looks an open contest with the 5. There was a scratching of Squamish in the Colts and Geldings from Saturday night, so they do get the opportunity to renominate. So not sure whether he will be there or not, or whether he'll just stay out. So we should bring it down to 4, and then the 5 fillies, headlined by Monterey Lass, already a 2-time feature winner this year here in Queensland.
Silly question. If they renominate this, hopefully you might know the answer. I don't want to throw you under the bus though. Do they keep their same barrier draw, Darren? Is that how it works?
Yeah. So the whole field is barrier draw. The whole lot is shifted, so that they won't change.
Yep.
So if they choose, I didn't see on the scratching sheet the reason for the scratching. So if it was something that,
they might
just he had an elevated temperature or something, he can come back into the field, into his barrier that he was drawn in. So no dramas there, same barrier draw, same field.
It must have been an incredible sort of day or weekend. Brittany Graham, I was talking to her at Melton, and she said her dad, they'd had bugger all rain where they were, and then not that far, but far enough, obviously, but they didn't have half the rain that you guys had. So it just must have been a massive sell, if you like, that you guys can get?
Yeah, it's always odd, the weather pattern up here. The savage storms we get, sort of the summer storms, tend to blow in from the west. They come in across, across the plains, over the range, and then when they hit the range, that's when they sort of unleash the main part. When we get really heavy rain, it tends to come in off the coast, and that's what this was on Saturday. It was just a big rain ball that come in off the coast and just sat there and didn't move. It just kept circling around, and that's the same problem we had with the floods last year or the year before. Same deal. It was just coming off the coast, and then it just sits there. It doesn't move. If you watch the radar, it's just circling in the one spot. So that would explain why perhaps the Grahams didn't get as much in that area there, sort of. In the hinterland area, the Gold Coast sort of hinterland area, where those westerly storms, as they blow in, can hit quite hard. And we got one of those on Thursday night. We had a few warnings last week, even our race meeting last Wednesday night. Race 1 we got through, but then we had to go back a race between races 1 and 2. There was a big electrical storm come through, and plenty of lightning and what have you. We had the same thing again Thursday night, and here at my house on Thursday night, you would have swear there's a sniper in the backyard. There was a bolt of lightning that I'm sure it landed in my front yard, because after all was said and done, I looked up and I was on the ground. I don't know how I ended up there. But I was on the ground, and it was loud. I've never heard anything in a storm that loud, and it blew the NBN connector to smithereens, and we're back in business though.
So you think you got hit by lightning?
Yeah, something very close to my house here. I live in suburbia here, and whatever it hit was obviously very close. And when the technician came out, he actually came out yesterday, which was very good of him. He said he's pretty much worked on the whole street since Thursday night. So
wow.
So it must have been close.
Yeah, they can be very dangerous too, so you want to be very careful in those situations. Interesting news, Darren. I don't know if you listened to much of Greg's conversation just there before, but Just Believe bypassing the Inter-Dominion this year, but great for Queensland racing. One of the main reasons he's bypassing it is because of the new time slot that it's already having. So that's already a major positive news story, if you like, with him and potentially Leap to Fame. Australia, which should be still Australia's best two horses, look like they will be there for this inaugural, if you like, Winter Inter-Dominion. It's not inaugural, but it's the rebirthing, time zoning Inter-Dominion series for Queensland.
Yeah, and we get it for the next 3 years, which I think is really good, and we really get to build on that. And from all reports, very, very popular decision over in New Zealand, I've heard, which is really good. We really need to reinvigorate getting the Kiwis across for the series. It hasn't been that way for a number of years now. There's been one or two here or there, but not like years gone by where it wasn't Inter-Dominion, the Battle of the Dominion. So it's good that positivity has been shared around. Hopefully it translates come next year, that the horses do and the participants do actually come. So, but by all reports, it should be really good. Just Believe, he did so well in the December Inter-Dominion of 2023. So, and I'd imagine going back to a 2-heat format would probably help him a little bit as well, getting on a little bit in years. He'll be sort of up there come next year. So, and Leap to Fame, I just heard some news that he is out of Inter-Dominion 2024. Right. So he will get time to reset and regroup and be ready to contest another Inter-Dominion in his own backyard. So could be a case of ironic, really, that the two winners from 2023 missed the 24 series, but are both back to defend their Albion Park titles.
Yeah, so that's official by the sounds. You wouldn't have gone with that if it wasn't. So that's shocking news for New South Wales. That's the only problem, isn't it?
It is. They've gone from a potential blockbuster series where you've got Leap to Fame and Just Believe to now neither of those two. And
I don't think even Swayze's going either, is he? No,
Swayze's in the paddock in New Zealand still.
Yep.
So he's coming home, I think, later this week was the last I'd heard.
Yep.
So if he is to come back.
You never know with Jason. He wasn't going to the dogs bark, and you probably got someone at the front door. But
I've never heard the dog bark. That's interesting. I think he's just found his voice. I don't need that.
We won't go there. Yeah, it's very interesting and in a way, the reason Swayze's not going is possibly something that Harness Racing New South Wales have done, possibly to rob themselves of that horse with the cup. $1 million cup bonus if he can win all six. He's already won two of them, so if he wins all six, it's going to be probably to their detriment in a way.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think it's only 5 too. I think, Paul, isn't it? So he's won Parks and Young, and then he's got Tamworth, Albury, and Penrith to go. I think it is.
Yep.
Yeah. So he's got to do 5, and if you only do 3, there's a fairly substantial bonus for winning 3 as well. So, he's nearly there with that. So, like you say, it's great promotion, but it may just have come back and got them, unfortunately. But that said, this Inter-Dominion series is now wide open. Outside of, those top horses are out, it really throws it open. So, it'll be interesting to see who can step forward and really try to take hold of that series.
Duncan's giving me the thumbs up. I just swapped the hats over. I didn't have the wrong hat on because we were talking about the Nutrien Race Series, but I saw Duncan's name. He was watching. That's where I got the thumbs up, Darren. Don't worry about me. There's no flies on me, mate. But out of that comes a great opportunity for so many people as well, and potentially so many locals in New South Wales. So it will be, pretty enticing. I don't know if Emma and Clayton are going to be taking many up to it because it is a trying series, but it still gives everyone a chance. And I remember, it's funny the things you remember. That Inter-Dominion series, the trotting series, the first year when they did it over this, everyone said the depth of the trotters is not there. It is a huge worry. There was a little horse called Just Believe ran third. Like everyone kept saying about how there was no depth in the trotting fields, in the trotting ranks that year. It was just amazing to see what you can sit back and see later on. And one of our greatest was there and stood up and accounted himself outstanding. Yeah,
and that's the thing. It's a case that, like you said, it really opens it up now for someone to come forward, and there's still be 36 horses in the paces and 24 in the trotters that'll be wanting to get their name on that trophy, and it's a trophy, with a lot of prestige and a lot of history in the sport. So, and like I said, it is a trying series, but I really like the way the New South Wales format has worked in that, it takes a little bit to those regional areas. Newcastle, it's not just Newcastle, it's sort of the places an hour or two outside of Newcastle where people will come down, travel for the night to see those seats, where they might not necessarily go to Menangle because it's a 5 or 6 hour drive, but they'll do the 2 hours to Newcastle. Same as Bathurst, I was there the last time the Bathurst heats were on, and the amount of people from Dubbo, Parks, all those western areas that came to Bathurst for that heat because 2.5 hour drive they're prepared to do, whereas they couldn't do the Menangle run. So, I get it, and I think it's great for those country tracks.
Yeah, I do too. I understand it's harder on the horses, but I tend to agree with you. we've got to be able to take these good horses there and let people see them. And that's, gets back to, again, Just Believe and Greg and Jess. That's what they're doing. They're letting people see this horse and letting people appreciate him, and it's outstanding. And, even with Swayze, Jason Grimson, I think it was just a phenomenal training performance, what he was able to do. You and I, we didn't question it because we did say he would know what he's doing. But, I think the flip side of it is it gets other people's attention outside of the sport when you hear that he was at Young. I did hear one journo say that he was in Forbes, but he was actually at Young. On the Friday night, he might have gone through Forbes. I don't think you do, but he might have gone through Forbes on the way home. I don't know. But
if he had gone to Forbes from Menangle to Young, he was seriously lost.
Yep, I thought that too. And then but then he's in, he's at Christchurch and he's at Addington on their biggest day and, put on a clinic and was just phenomenal. And just testament to the horse. And I think, Cam Hart, Jason Grimson, they actually said that as much as anything. They could have took all the plaudits, but at the end of the day, they know the horse they've got, like Greg and Jess do, and there's something special, those sorts of horses.
They are, and it's a horses for courses. Obviously, they would know that not every horse in their barn could do that. But the thing it might just do, Paul, is this might just revolutionise or make other people sit up and take notice of how to prepare for horses when they're travelling, rather than this, prolonged, I need the horse to acclimatise sort of scenario. Just in, out, bang, away we go, hit, run, mission, and don't need that time so much, because when you look at the fact, he's 4 hours in the float to Young, had his race 4 hours back, so he would have got home sort of early Saturday morning. He's had Saturday at home and then Sunday on the flight. And I know he hasn't done much in between. I think he spent a little bit of time on the water walker on the Saturday afternoon, and then for the flight Sunday. And then I think Monday morning, I believe he just had a light stroll on the beach Monday morning before the race. So,
and that's all he had to do. And that, as you and I said, do you work them? Don't you work them? You're not sure. Whereas Jason didn't have to think about that. He's like, well, I can't fast work him. Like, he knew he couldn't fast work him. So, so that part was taken out, and he was, and then he also knew his plan, because I don't think he has to race now until midway through January. So he... Yeah,
17th or 18th is the Tamworth race. So
leave him there on the green grass, give him a bit of time off, bring him home, put him on a bit of green grass at New South Wales, and he'll be refreshed and ready to go again.
Yeah, and, all systems go towards that $1 million bonus. So, and I think the fact that you could say if the travel had have taken anything out of him, if he had have been flat, well, Don't Stop Dreaming should have beat him. If he was flat from that travel, and he headed him, but he kicks back and wins. So, all honours with the horse in terms of, the fortitude and that he displayed. So it was sort of shades a little bit too of another Australian flashing red. When he won his New Zealand Cup, he was gone. He got headed, but like Swayze, fought back and kicked back to win.
Yep, absolutely. They are unique. Those X Factor horses are very, very unique in so many ways. Like listening to Greg, with Harry, he's a plain Jane. But he's still unique, and you've seen him. He has nothing to look at, yet when he's on the track, you just can't stop looking at him, if that makes sense. Like he's just, and Swayze, there's something different, and we've got to celebrate them. Darren, the Breeders' Crown just been run and won, and like I probably wear two hats here, if you like. It used to be here at Bendigo, and I'm sick of people saying, "I'll take it back to Bendigo and it'll be what it'll be." It won't, because it's changed so much, but it started its inception at Bendigo, so I probably always had a soft spot for it. But being there Saturday night, watching Jared Maloney right through to the guys who won the last, what it meant to these guys winning the Breeders' Crown, we have to try to keep these historical races somehow, don't we? Like, we're having a hard run here in Victoria. There's no money on the horizon anytime soon due to COVID. And the government probably mismanaging funds in so many other factors. It's not a harness racing factor, it's everywhere. And they've got to build hospitals and maintain hospitals and things like that. But somehow or other, the industry needs to work out how we can keep Inter-Dominions, keep Breeders' Crowns, keep the New Zealand Cups, and things along those lines, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm not 100% sure of what the exact answer is there, Paul, but I think there needs to be a far better collaboration between the states with a feature race calendar. I just think, I think a lot of that would help ensure that those races maintain their significance, maintain their place on the calendar. We see so many times that of late that it's almost like every state for themselves, serving their own best interests first. And I get they have to look after their participants in their own state, but we also need to look at it from a little bit of a different lens and realise that we need the sport to be strong in every state. We can't afford it to be weaker in some areas than others. We all need to be together, and that ensures that those things can proceed, and we keep those races, like you say, they've got tradition, they've got history, and there's no reason that they don't, or they shouldn't, flourish.
Yeah, and it is that history, and that's the fabric of our industry that we can't lose. We're saying about the Inter-Dominion, and I in a way question Bricky, but I think what they've done is the right thing. It was always been 3 heats into a final, but in this day and age now, we need to change with welfare, with so many other things, because we don't want anything bad to happen to any of those horses, running 3 heats into a final. So we've changed it and evolve it. But at the end of the day, we still need the Inter-Dominion. We still need the New Zealand Cup. We still need the Dominion. We still need the Row Cup. We need, but we also need new as well. And we've got to be able to work out how to do it and how to make it sustainable. And even with the growth of the trotter, it's going to throw up a few issues going forward eventually. Right at the minute, most of your trotters head to Victoria. They know that's where they are. But they're growing. Queensland, we've got the Great Square. You're moving it again next year. We're trying to find a spot for it next year. The Hammerhead in New South Wales, these races in New Zealand as well. So it is starting to get competitive, but we've got to make sure we look after these good races, the real good races, and then the good races to be able to make this sport better.
Yeah, yep, no argument whatsoever there. And as far as the Inter-Dominion's concerned, bringing in those, reducing it to 2 heats, like you say, we want to maintain history and the tradition, but at the same time, we need to also evolve in a way. And I think you look at the way the breed has changed. These great horses that we've got now probably can't do what the horses of yesteryear did. And you can say that, it's always hard. I find it very difficult to compare eras, and I don't think you should. You should celebrate what you have at the time. And what we have at the time now, I think, is a sport where asking those horses to do that 3 runs in a week into a final is perhaps not in the best interest of the sport longer term. So, you've only got to look at things like at Albion Park. We've got a board there and from years gone by, and it was the 155 Hall of Fame around Albion Park. So, if you betted 155, you got your name on the board. And you look through some of the names, the sort of the early 2000s, there's horses like Courage Under Fire, Double Identity, Sokiola, Cobbity Classic, Blacks Are Fake, Slip and Slide. They're all on there, having gone, 154 and change. This year at Albion Park, we've had, I think, 6 2-year-olds go sub 155.
Yeah.
And so things change. Be prepared for that change and change things in an appropriate way without losing that tradition at the same time. And at times it can be it's a tightrope to walk, but I think we need to make sure that we remain well balanced and keep those tradition races like the Cup and Breeders' Crown, those races, because, you know, it's not that long ago that when the Breeders' Crown was introduced, that I'm sure, I don't remember it at the time, I was probably too young when it first introduced, but I'm sure at the time there was probably discussion that, oh yeah, preserve whatever race that this is going to take over. Well, now down the track, this is a race series where some of the Breeders' Crown race days through the 2000s, mid-2010s, superb race days that attracted the best of both sides of the Tasman, and some great horses on those honour rolls.
Yeah, absolutely. The first night, there was 14 two-year-old heats. They raced on a Friday night into a Sunday final. So,
yeah.
And there was 14 heats. So,
yeah,
and they're only 2-year-olds, so it was just phenomenal. What you said there is actually really cool, Darren, because, and a young gentleman you'd know a little bit about. So, Jet Turnbull is, I'm going to say he's 17. I think he's still 17. Yep, he is 17. He's driven, he's going to drive, his next winner will be his 200th. So, there's a spoiler alert for everyone. So, just an amazing achievement from the young man. But he drove a horse, I Love the Bubbles, owned by Mickey Boots, bred by Brecken Farms, went 149.7. Why are we not seeing that from the clouds? And the reason being is because they do that all the time now, and we should be though. I mean, that's phenomenal to see a mare do that and hit, have a sub 150 rate. But that's where things have changed, and we need to, keep evolving. But at the same time, I also reckon, as an industry, we've probably let ourselves down a little bit there. A young up and coming, I'm going to call him a young gun because you know him. He is a young gun. He's just unbelievable what horses run for him. There's nothing to him, and he's gone out on a horse and set a 149.7, which we should be singing from the rafters. But people just say, "Oh, that's just because it's Menangle." But we need to embrace these times and promote it and celebrate it.
Yeah, and it's. I think I know he does most of his driving sort of in the bush, and they probably don't go to Menangle for those midweek meetings, if at all, really. But that was his first ever win at Menangle as well, not just...
Do you want to know why? I know why. He had to sit out for 18 months. I thought it was only a year. They wouldn't let him drive there for a year and a half. So that's why he's only just started driving there.
Yeah, so that's with the Metro card. So we have the same here in Queensland.
We used to have it in Victoria, but we don't now.
Okay, so up here you have to have been licensed for 12 months, and I think there's a few other stipulations on it. Times past, then you can graduate to metropolitan racing. So, I know Angus Garrard. I know. When he was younger, they asked for special dispensation to allow him to start. That was rejected. I don't think Lane Dwyer asked for dispensation, but he was, he waited his 12 months and he'd had sort of around the sort of 60-odd winners mark by the time he got his Metro start. So he's going.
And I think the other one, I'm just trying to... Wouldn't believe it, I can't find a bloody meeting. I know she drove a winner at Newcastle. Zara Fitzpatrick, she's in a similar boat because she's the same. She can't drive at the Metro meetings just yet. And yet she's driven, I'll tell you in 2 seconds. She's only driven 47 winners so far, but she's only been driving for 1 year. So it's just an amazing little thing that does happen. But as I say, at the end of the day, we probably should be celebrating that 149.7. I saw it. Didn't even think about it. It was only when you started saying those 150s, and I'm like, hang on, we need people to be aware that there was a horse went 49.7 on the night, just the overnight, so it's just phenomenal.
Yeah, well, that Albion Park 155 Hall of Fame board, the first horse on it is Popular Arm.
Wow.
For 1983.
Sunshine
and then
Sprint?
Possibly, I don't know the race. I'm just looking at it's a timber board with, they do the gold embossing. So just reading down at Popular Arm, Pro Chevalier, Earth Station, Franco Tiger, Franco Ice, Christopher Vance, Warrior Khan, Pocket Battleship, Whitecliff Whistler, Biaggi, Pocket Me, Biaggi again, Courage Under Fire, General Jujon, Double Identity, Sokiola, Watch and Learn, Home of Jack, who was then a track record, Dinky Die, Cobbity Classic, Home of Jack again, And then the last two blacks are fake slip and slide. And then I think from then they realised that the speed evolved. And that was slip and slide was 2007. So they probably realised that they'd need a bigger board. So
yeah, some great names there. Some a couple of lots of spreaders, Double Identity and Sokiola, the big heavy spreaders. Oh, a good horse never wears spreaders. Well, yep, sorry, but they do, and they can run very, very fast. So yeah, Harry Martin actually, he had a winner last week. He was in the ownership. Young Man drove his first winner actually. Did you see that? I'm going to have to find it.
Yeah. No, didn't see that one.
Just got to find it. I reckon I'm on the right day. Just bear with me for a sec. But Harry was in the ownership. It's great. Here it is. Double Fear. I can actually put that up, I think, if I go to that one there. Yeah, so Double Fear, and the second owner there is HB Martin. So it's quite funny you talk about someone and they come up. So bred by Yuribi Stud. It's a Fear the Dragon out of Wandjina Girl, and the young man's name was Vaughan Duncan. So I don't know who. So that was one win. So he'd had one win. Actually, this one will tell me he said 46 starts and finally got his first winner. So well done to the young man. But it was just funny when you were saying about that horse. I was like, Harry was in an ownership the other day. I think he's 85, 86. So but many more fond memories. Mate, thank you. Really appreciate it. Coming on, clearing that up with the Nutrien. I'll know if Duncan's still watching. I'll swap the hats back to the Nutrien one. I'll see if I get a thumbs up or whatever, and go from there. But thank you very much for getting involved in that. Derek Delaney's watching, the great man from Ireland, actually, Derek. So he's the Vincent Delaney Memorial. We can learn a lot from a lot of our other people. But mate, thank you so much for joining me. Appreciate it.
Anytime. Anytime.
I'm in Queensland Monday week. So you never know what might happen. We could catch up either with one of our shows. We could do a live show potentially. I've got to go to Dolby, but then once I finish at Dolby, I'll be heading home. So we'll work something out. We might end up. So it'll be a fortnight time. We might do an On Loose Lines live from the from
my kitchen.
Oh, we could do that. Yeah, we could. We could do our cooking show. We could see. Oh, look out! This is getting dangerous, mate. Thank you. I'm going to leave it for the minute. I'm disgusted Rafa hasn't come back on. He obviously didn't enjoy our show, or he's not drunk enough tonight to enjoy it.
Maybe those the drunk emoji or the drinks he had are still going. Maybe,
don't know, mate. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Darren Clayton. A lot of fun and very passionate Queenslander. I enjoy talking harness racing with a lot of these guys. Thank you to everyone that has joined in. Don't forget a couple of these. So we've got plenty to get through. Right, Nutrien. The Nutrien sales dates for the 2025 yearling season. Sunshine Stars with Darren Clayton on the 23rd of February. Tasmania on the 1st of March. Sydney on the 9th of March. Bathurst the 30th of March, and culminating in Melbourne on the 13th of April. Got a little curveball for a few people that might want to think about a few things there, actually, when we're talking about race calendars. Neville Pangrazio, hello to you. You'll be ready front and centre for the 13th at Melbourne with the rich $1 million race card on the Friday night, yearling parade on the Saturday, sales on the Sunday. It's going to be massive. It is going to be massive, that is for sure. We will put this hat on for the time being, and we will go to here with the team from Aldebaran Park, Dancing in the Dark, M, Sky Valley, and Aldebaran Eagle. And you just got to be aware on both those two horses there. Sky Valley only available in Australia. Aldebaran Eagle only available in New Zealand. He's just going gangbusters. But Dancing in the Dark, M, you can have him as fresh chilled semen in Australia or New Zealand at both farms. Woodland Stud, I actually will change that hat. I'm not sure what's going on with that hat. I can't fit it on my bonce. But Better Delight down by the seaside, Lather Up, Speeding Spur, Sweet Lou, and What the Hell is just doing an amazing job. Frozen Seaman is not available now for American Ideal. He is fully booked, and of course sired the Derby winner on the weekend. So well done to American Ideal. Unfortunately no longer with us, but done an amazing job. Sweet Lou of course booked out here in Australia, but the Kiwis still have the opportunity. So a terrific draft of horses from the team at Woodlands. Quickly got the hat on there. The team at Wingate Farm. I don't have a Wingate Farm hat. Jake Stockton, Father Nuno, Fast as the Wind, Cantab Hall Stallion, Trotting Stallion, Tintin in America, the Evergreen, and Be Happy Mac. Get in touch with Jake on 0428 527 998. And then also we have the Harasta Trotters, Stallion Roster, EL Titan, Classic Connection, Always Ready, Used to Me, and Honest Streak available in Australia. Or Honest Streak's not available, actually. Used to Me available as chilled. Honest Streak available as chilled in New Zealand. He's not available in Australia at all. Frozen Seaman for EL Titan and Classic Connection for my New Zealand friends can also get the only as New Zealand as frozen. Back of the Neck only in Australia. Equerry D, and then of course the champion sire Orlando Vici, of course the sire of Just Believe, to name a few, but just continues to knock out winners here, there, and everywhere. Wow. Darren's actually just sent me that. I've just got to make sure I've looked after all of my sponsors. Not quite. NZB, the National Yearling Sales will be at Auckland on the 15th of February 2025 at Karaka, and at Christchurch on the 18th of February. So that is a Saturday and a Tuesday there. Catalogue will be out very shortly. Cambrai might be on. I might even get him on the New Zealand show tomorrow. So yep. So make sure you're aware of that. Elmore Harness Racing Club have got a 2-year-old maiden trot on the 18th of December. It's going to be called the Graham Johansson Memorial 2-year-old trot. No wins. If you're Vic Bred eligible, keep that in mind. That's 5 days out from Christmas. It's a great meeting, a lot of fun. I think I'm emceeing it, haven't been told. If I'm not, I'll still turn up anyway probably, but that's fine. And the Graham and Gavin Lang Trotting Miles at Bendigo, Wednesday week the 27th, there to set out times. Aldebaran Park and Bendigo Harness Racing Club. Make sure you get involved with those. Father Nuno is a full brother to Captain Treacherous. You should get Jake on to talk about him. I have had him on, Alex, actually. I don't know if he's got much of a profile. His actually bookings are going terrific, according to Jake there. So they're very, very happy with his bookings. And yes, he is a full brother to Captain Treacherous. Just trying to delicately do something. Darren has sent me the footage of these. Now this camera, this can get a bit dodged from time to time, so let's just see how this works. There we are. So that is the rain at Albion Park last Friday night. That is unbelievable. So that was at after 7 o'clock. I think that's the one he was saying was after 7 o'clock. So phenomenal amount of rain there. Obviously way too dangerous to race, but yeah, that is ridiculous. So we'll go back to that one, might be easier, and we can pull this one out going for there. So yeah, just a phenomenal amount of rain going there. Yeah, and Alex, the other horse fast as a win is of course by Cantab Hall, and we know the job that Cantab Hall has been doing. Of course, is the sire not only of Volstead but Father Patrick. Father Patrick's stats are outstanding as well. So yep, the sons of Cantab Hall do an amazing job on a streak, standing in New Zealand. Better be careful. I think he is. Yeah, he is, because EL Titan is a Muscle Hill. So yep. So going from there, got the wrong mouse, but that's okay. Rightio. Don't know if I got anything else. Of course, Alex Early had a winner the other day. She had a good winner at Kilmore, so well done to Hurls. And she had a lot of fun. So got to go back actually and watch a race. She'll tell me off for not watching the race. Thanks to everyone who has joined in to this show. Whoop, you need to move this show back to Wednesday so it doesn't clash with cricket trading. Watch it on YouTube, Hurls, and you can just put the earphones in and you don't actually have to watch it. And then if we say something, you can come on and get involved with it that way, going from there. But yeah, it just frees up my week. So I appreciate that people don't like change, but it is not changing. It'll be 6 o'clock every Monday. And then if I have other things on, I can work them around it. But if I go Wednesday nights, it can get a bit tricky when I'm on the road travelling, and go from there. So won't be changing. We'll be changing a few more things going forward. We had a new profile pic to start it off with. That is actually Just Believe. And yeah, every Monday night live on Campbell's Comments website. Hopefully we'll be finished tomorrow. So we'll have that done as well. But yeah, thanks to everyone who has chimed in, and I look forward to seeing you all again next Monday night, having a little bit of fun. Just got to work out some guests from time to time. We might try and get Rafa. We'll see how we go. We might be able to try and get Dave Rafael on. But, yep, thank you to everyone who's tuned in, and we will see you all next week.